Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys Akatsuki no Yona, also known as Yona of the Dawn. Yona of the Dawn, chapter 215, review. That is so late. That is so late. And now re-recorded. For those of you who don't understand what that means, definitely go check out that Rage video of mine. It's very, very short, but it explains that this is now a re-recording of a review that should have been out in a timely fashion to you guys. And I'm sorry that this review came out this late, considering I already recorded it, but I had no audio. Anyways. So, if you want the full details, go check out that video. But for right now, let's do the re-recording of the re-review of Yona chapter 215, because I like this chapter, but it can be summarized very, very quickly. It can be summarized pretty quick. Flood happens, they get to high ground. I mean, that's basically what happens. The whole chapter is they find out the place, Kin province, the village is going to be flooded, and everybody runs from the flood. That is legitimately all that realistically happens. However, let's dive into a few things that I thought were interesting in this chapter. How about we do that? Because you guys didn't think I was just going to end it right there, did you? No. You know, I'm going all in on this one. So, yes, the beginning part of that is basically that. The watchtower, Yona jumps up to the watchtower, he sees the flood coming, and he tells everybody to get to the high ground. It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground! You know, that's basically what we get there. And can we just note that this dude is just staring off into the distance, watching Hawk like, oh, there's something going on over there. No, like that is all this dude is doing. He's like holding his bottom lip, just being drooling, just going like, oh, I'm so enthralled with this. It's so beautiful. I can't pay attention to anything else. You're a sentry lookout. Yona took 5 seconds, smelt. He felt the like wind change or smelt the salt air, whatever he did, and he ran up that watchtower and took 2 seconds to go, holy shit! What were you looking at? Like, he doesn't blame him, but this dude has been so dazed the entire time. Worst sentry I've ever seen in a manga. He's down there with Fat Boy for the rest of the series. I'm just saying. Worst sentry ever. But then we move on because we're jumping back over to the arrival of the Green Dragon and the White Dragon. Jae-ha and Kija. They're going to solve all the problems, right? Right? Well, they pretty much do, actually. Yeah, they do. So they show up. The pirates, including Fat Boy, are very, very happy about this. They jump over and they explain about the dam breaking and yada, yada, yada. Now, jae-ha and Kija did not know that Hawk and Yona are here, but they inform them that they're here, and they understand that pretty quickly. Now, this is where they were told to be the vanguard, and we go into a flashback sort of sequence. We jump back and forth, but I'm just going to explain it, like, completely, right? So, what we find out is that, and it is a pretty cool battle sequence, like, jae-ha and Kija, boom, 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 they take care of that initial skirmish, no big deal, and in runs the Sky Tribe Army. The Sky Tribe Army led by our man Jodo, twin sword style. And he's going in there, right? He's going in there leading the charge, and he's like, all right, we're good to go. And basically tells jae-ha and Kija to go and help evacuate the citizens of the Kin province, or the Kin province village, whatever. So, then we jump into the flashback. And as I said, there's 2 sort of sections to the flashback, but we're just going to talk about it all at once. So, pretty much, soo-won says to jae-ha, yeah, I need you, we're sending reinforcements to Kin, and you know the best way, you know the way, because you guys have all traveled and stuff, and I'd like you to show them the way. Now, what I like about jae-ha here is that reading between the lines, he is not willing to listen to soo-won. He basically decides for his own how he's going to do this, and then he asks Yona permission pretty much. That's sort of how it goes, because Yona doesn't object. But if you follow it closely, what jae-ha says is, I have no issue showing you guys the way, but what happens if they're defeated, and they talk about this. They talk about, and this is something that I brought up before, that Gwentai might be a really cool character, and the Earth Tribe loves him, and we love him as fans and everything, but I've already explained this before, horrible, like, his military might be the best, but he is a terrible strategist, and a terrible commander when you really think about it. Because what he has left, his life and his death is the life and death of the entirety of his tribe, right? Like, he dies, boom, there goes the Earth Tribe morale, completely. Doesn't matter if he has 2,000 soldiers, or 200,000, they're going to lose any war. They're going to lose because they have zero motivation and zero morale because their one squeaky general is gone. Like, that is horrible. Like, usually in a real system of war and stuff, it's like, oh, our general was killed, but Major so-and-so and Colonel this guy and Commander this guy, they're still, like, his men are top tier, like, they're an elite unit and stuff. You usually have still respected commanders. He might be the general of the Earth Tribe, but where's the commanders? Where's the colonels? Where's the majors? Where's the other people in charge? Where's the other captains that could say, all right, man, yes, Gwentai is down, but he's not out, and we can rally the troops. Without Hawk, soo-won is absolutely correct. And soo-won actually calls him out on this during 2 parts of the flashback. At the first part saying, the only reason it hasn't come to the fact that the Kin Province is still standing. And I'll tell you why. Because if they had invaded and taken over Kin Province, then they would be declaring, we would have heard about it by now, because messengers would have come in and basically said, hey, guess what? We already won this war. They'd be gloating about it. And soo-won's not wrong about that. If they had taken such a strong foothold that quickly and right off the bat, they would have heard about it by now. The fact that they haven't means that they're stalled at the border. Soo-won also concludes the right, of course, because Soo-won is intelligent, so the only reason it has to come to that is because someone else has taken Gwentai's place and is somehow keeping the troops together. I don't know who this soldier or person is, but clearly the morale has been held by somebody, which is surprising to Soo-won because, as I said, I believe Soo-won feels the same way. Without Gwentai, the Earth Tribe, doesn't matter their number. Doesn't matter because Gwentai didn't ever, have the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse or anything under his command, or he didn't have, these are my 3 great captains, my 2 great commanders. Nobody like that. He is the bread and butter, and without him, the Earth Tribe is done. Doesn't matter the number. It's all about, all the quality went into one man, and that's horrible, realistically. He might be great, but his soldiers aren't anything to write home about when that's the only person they rely on. So they have been not brainwashed, but terribly trained in that regard, because without him, they don't have the will to fight. That's not good. So this is where jae-ha basically says, yeah, well, I suppose I can't just draw you a map or what have you. You basically want to report on what's going on. So this is where, once again, I said jae-ha doesn't say to Soo-won, sure, I'll go do that. He goes to Yona and says, can I take Hija with me? And Yona says, huh? Between the 2 of us, the white dragon and the green dragon, we'll easily be able to take out any skirmish or vanguard, and then we'll maybe be able to secure the problem and stuff like that. And we'll be able to end this relatively quickly and stuff. I also think that jae-ha wants to go with Kija for another ally to watch his back. He does not know that Hawk and Yona are there. None of them do. And I don't think jae-ha wanted to go surrounded by Sky Tribe soldiers under the command of Soo-won, not Yona, by himself. None of this is stated, but it makes the best amount of sense. Plus, he says this to Yona to say, because if Yona objected to jae-ha going, when he says, can I bring Kija along with me? Yona doesn't object to them going at all. So in a roundabout type of way, this is just my fan theory, but this is a theory, a fan theory. And around this type of way, I believe that jae-ha was in the presence of Soo-won, basically saying, I don't take orders from you. Let's hear if Yona's okay with me going. And then I'll go. In not so many words, but that's the way I took it. Let me know what you guys think. Now, after this point, we still jump back to another flashback, right? we jump back, well, we go forward, and then we go to another flashback pretty much within it, and that's why I said I'm going to combine both. Pretty much is that he complains once again what I already explained. The Earth Tribe army is not, is fragile without Gwen Tai. That's a serious problem. However, Soo-won goes, who else could have filled that role so quickly and easily? He doesn't know of any Earth Tribe commander, captain, or soldier that could have done so. So he's very curious to meet this person who's been able to hold the border of the Kim province this long and wishes that they could meet them. Jae-ha, of course, jumps away because Jo-do says basically evacuate the citizens, like we already said. And him and Kija go forward to help Yona and everybody in the village before the big flood comes in and stuff like that. So jae-ha says the soldier the king wants to meet has to be Hawk. Like, now that they know Hawk is there, they know exactly who's been holding the line. Now, at this point, this is where, in the original review, I had some really good points here, but I can't remember all of them. But pretty much all the plot points are starting to slowly converge, because Kija brings up something which is really, really smart and says, if Soo-won said the king wants to meet him, why don't we grab Hawk? Grab Yona, get the hell out of Dodge, and then he can meet him and find out, guess what? It's the Dark Dragon of the Happy Hunger Gun. Da-da-da-da! And at first I'm thinking jae-ha is going to shoot that down, going, no, we should actually hide Hawk, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I was expecting, but pretty much jae-ha agrees. After we protect the people of Kin Province, sure, he wants to meet the soldier that did Gwen Tai's job and he was down and out and wants to meet him and praise him or do whatever. We're going to take Hawk. We're going to put him in front of Soo-won and go, the reason you're not overrun is because of the fucking Thunder Beast. Respect the title. And I'm good with that. I'm good with that because the reason I said that this converges a lot of plot points is, number one, Hawk Soo-won meeting. Something that we have been waiting almost 30 chapters for by now, I believe. We've been waiting 30 chapters. People have been talking about it. People have been commenting it. Reddit, Discord, everything I've read. People want Hawk and Soo-won to finally sit down at this junction. We need to have them have a conversation. To actually talk to each other. It's all out in the open. We need a private conversation of them chatting. And it could be about the fucking weather and the community would go nuts. You know why? Because two of the best relationships in the entirety of the series is Hawk and Yona and Hawk and Soo-won. The thing is that Hawk and Yona have already settled. We're not the will they, won't they anymore. We figured that out. That's over. Not that we don't want to see more romantic moments and more development with Hawk and Yona as a couple from this point forward, but we've done the will they, won't they stuff, which is usually, according to every sitcom I've ever seen and every romantic comedy, is the most interesting part, are the most interesting seasons, are the most interesting episodes, are the will they finally kiss, will they, won't they go on the date, will they do this, will they do that, right? That is always the biggest thing for the romantic side, and that's been taken care of. Not that it's still not interesting, but I would argue that Hawk and Soo-won were almost just as interesting, or more so, and now they're the ones that need a resolution. We need to see them have a conversation. This is something the community as a whole agrees on. Whether you like Soo-won, hate Soo-won, you still want to see the confrontation between Hawk and Soo-won, regardless which way it goes. I think the community as a whole can agree we need to see it. We want that conversation. We thought we were going to get it multiple times during this arc and still have yet to get it. So, this scene right here not only gives us, okay, Hawk goes back to Hiryu Castle and has a conversation as the soldier who saved Kin Province, right? Then, the Senjuzo. Yon goes back, which was the entire point. Hawk traveled with him to get the Senjuzo. He's got the Senjuzo. They go back with the Senjuzo, and Minso and Yon attempt this regardless what Zeno believes. And we get the Happy Hungry Bunch all back together in Hiryu Castle. There's a multitude of plot points that finally all get to converge, that we've been waiting for, some as fans, some as plot points and stuff, and I just think that this is really, really good. I'm glad that jae-ha agrees. Kija and jae-ha want to take Hawk right away and throw him right in front of Soo-won's feet and go, there you go. The Thunder Beast saved your ass, for the 1,746th time, this goddamn kingdom, so respect him, Who knows how that's going to go, but like I think this is leading to that finally I believe that. So that's just really, really cool. I said it way more succinctly in the original recording, so I know this has been long-winded, but yeah. So that's the deal there. Now Yon and everybody is evacuating the town for the rest of the chapter. Of course, the soldier that bitched him out about the Senjuzo and the medicine, blah, 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 and Hawk too, is very mournful, very regretful, blah, 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 because he feels like a dick. And he should, but I still argue that it's Fat Boy and his fat mouth's problem. Still argue that. It's Fat Boy and fat mouth problem. So this soldier is just in the down and out, dismorale, dispirited. Once again, Gwen Tai's fault and Fat Boy's fault. Not this guy's fault. I mean, he bears some of the responsibility, but less than half of it. The reason he's in this situation and that aggressive is because Gwen Tai did a horrible idea of military strategy in being the war god with nobody else as his equal, and then once again, of course, Fat Boy Pirate. So Kija and jae-ha save the soldier that he was trying to help. And Yona, of course, they end up in the tree. Everything's okay. Yona tells jae-ha that Hawk is still fighting the general. The general wants to... the troops are saying, hey, general, we got to go. The flood's coming in. And Hawk and him are still squaring off. This is where Hawk decides to end this in one blow because the flood is happening. And he's just like, all right, fine. Boom. He ends the general. So the general goes down, even as injured. So that blows my theory out of the water. That and very super injured Hawk after fighting battle after battle after battle, and this bloody and bruised would be at lesser strength, and this general might be able to actually get an upper hand on him because he'd be dizzy, because his head's throbbing, yada yada yada. He's beaten and broken. He's got broken bones for all we know. All this shit, right? Didn't happen, and Hawk decides to try to go away. But then there's this thing with this horse. Now, the one thing that confused me initially, I'm not going to lie, and this is something I said in the original review, was, where the hell is Hawk's horse? So Hawk, they're both on horseback, right? He ends the general and he's like, okay, we got to get out of here. He's tropping away on a horse. The general's horse is a loyal horse and wants to stay with his general. And the general guy is going, Rahan. I'm not sure. But anyways, he's laying there and he's like, leave me, go, get up, get away from here, get away from here. Hawk comes back for him, throws him on the horse. The general can't understand why, and he goes, I'm not doing it for you. And this is really nice. This is because I agree with Hawk here. I'm not saving you, but your horse would not move a goddamn foot, until you were, safe and sound. So, and you know who I feel for the worst in warfare? The horses. And there's a lot to talk about there. Talked about it in the original review. But, yeah, you guys are just going to have to go with me there. I'm really tired of re-recording all these reviews. So, so pretty much the idea is that Hawk feels that the horses, they didn't choose no war. It's humans that choose the war, and they bring them the cavalry and all that stuff. They bring them into battle and stuff. And a loyal horse is hard to find, and yada, yada, yada. So I don't want to see that horse die and stuff. It keeps me up at night thinking about the horses that die in battle. What do they have to do with any of this shit? So, yeah. So then he smacks the back and stuff, and now Ra'an is probably going to be the unlikely ally who ends up helping them in some weird way by the end of the arc because of this humanitarian or horsetarian attitude of Hawk's and stuff. And of course, he already respected Hawk before this, and now he's probably going to respect him even further. So this is where Hawk, and I didn't understand this, where the hell did Hawk's horse go? But at this point, when I first read it, I was like, okay, was that Hawk's horse? No, it was the general's horse. So where is Hawk's horse? If he came back and slapped him away, why wouldn't he have kept the horse there so he can get on the horse and get the hell out of Dodge? I don't know. I don't have a good answer. My only thinking about this, looking at the last panel or the panel before, is Hawk figured, because Hawk's words were, the horses in warfare, I hate to see them hurt, it keeps me up at night, blah, blah, blah. So, knowing he probably, if he went back to save the general, he wouldn't have time to escape himself or go into enemy territory and be killed. So, he chose the third option, and he said, okay, he released his horse, I'm assuming. I wish we had a panel of this, though. We should have had a panel of this, because now I'm just confused. Because it seems like where the horse would have ran to makes no sense. other than be captured or killed by the enemy up the cliff? Or, like, is there some random, like, mountain right beside him? I don't know, but, like, and that's a problem. Like, I really think that we should have had a panel to show that Hawk released his horse up some mountain trail or mountainside to get to elevation and slapped him away, then ran back and got the general. That, we needed that panel, I feel, because now I'm just questioning, where the hell did the horse go? If he's such a horsetarian about this, where did he send this horse on this very even plain, you know? Like, so I do question that, and that's my one little nitpick about the chapter. I like to think that he slapped the horse away in time up an elevated mountain trail or something away from the Kin border and also, or the South Kai border, sorry, away from the South Kai border, and he sent the horse away and the horse is safe. I like to think that that's what Hawk did since the speech about the horse, and yeah, so anyway, so the end of the chapter comes and Hawk is basically reserved to his fate, and he's like, oh damn, I've got the Senjuzo with me. Well, oh, there's Droopy Eyes, perfect, okay, here, take the bag, I'm gonna die now. So, of course, jae-ha is jumping in there going like, you idiot, and stuff. We don't hear him, but Hawk recognizes Droopy Eyes as jae-ha, of course, and then he says, all right, Yona's okay, everybody's okay, this is fine, and then boom, we get the last scene of the chapter where all the waves come crushing down on Hawk. Now, we also see a big spear in the middle of this, like a big boom, and I believe that's jae-ha jumping down to grab Hawk and boost himself with his green dragon leg the hell out of there. So I'm assuming that's what happened. Hawk didn't die here or whatever. He's already seriously wounded, so this is probably going to be the reason that it elevated his wounds. He took hard knocks in the rapids. I managed to drag his ass out, but he was already beaten and bloody before this, so he's going to take a while to recover. They're going to probably do something like that. Hawk's clearly not dead, neither is jae-ha. My one question is, does the Senjuzo getting waterlogged matter? Like, are they going to lose the Senjuzo in the river or in the flood? Or are they going to say, oh, but now the Senjuzo's potency is at 50%? Something like that. I don't know. I'm not 100%. Since Senjuzo was found on the rocky cliff of seawater and sea air and stuff, I'm going to assume that that's not going to be a plot point, and that would be kind of weird after all this to go get the Senjuzo. Now this happens. Now we got to go back to get more Senjuzo. Like, no. I don't think they're going to do that. But realistically, not really sure why they're putting it in this chapter. We know Hawk's not dead. We know jae-ha is not dead. So I don't see a real reason to showcase this as it's so dreadful. Like, what's the honest damage here? I don't know. But either way, I really definitely enjoyed the chapter. Just want to know where Hawk's horse got to. But the chapter itself was really, really good. jae-ha's back, and as I said, all these plot points going to be converging soon. That's really, really awesome, because I think we're finally in the next few chapters, maybe even by the end of the year, we might get soo-won and Hawk sit-down conversation. And please don't do that whole Hawk is in a medical bed, totally comatose, but he's actually listening. Soo-won comes to visit him to see if he's okay. He talks to him. Hawk's rolled over. He doesn't know he's awake, but we know Hawk is awake. Don't do that. Please don't do that trope. We need Hawk and Soo-won to sit down, stare eye to each other, and have a conversation. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. That's the one dreadful thing I can think of, because that'll be like, oh, we'll appease the fans like this. No, that's not appeasing fans. That's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Don't do that trope. So, anyways, that's chapter 215, The Fall of the Kin Province, and it is flooded out, so that's a thing. But anyways, that is the end of the chapter. What did you guys all think of this chapter? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget the fourth and most important thing, to drink responsibly, as always, as I always do. And that's the end of my re-recordings for tonight. Holy damn. But anyways, for those of you who don't know, I had a ton of audio issues with the original recordings for a number of videos. The video explaining how that happened, very straightforward, just audio didn't record due to an update. But if you care about that video, it's uploaded on the channel probably by now. And yeah, but anyways, hopefully we see you guys back here for next month. November 5th is when the chapter drops, so I'm assuming the next day or two after that, we'll get the translations, and we'll get right into chapter 216. they'll probably jump away from this and we'll have a whole Yona focused chapter or something like that. I really hope we don't. I'm really more curious following, let's make sure Hawk's okay, how's jae-ha doing, how's everybody doing. I'm hoping we get to see the ramifications of what happened to the Kim problems and where the move's going to go from here. I suppose we could get that dialogue from soo-won as well, knowing that it flooded out, but how would they get the message that quickly? So I just really like to know the ramifications of what happened at the end of this chapter. But what do you guys think is going to happen? As I said before, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys back next time for chapter 216 in November for Yona of the Dawn! I can't hold a note to save my life. We'll see you back here next time, people. See ya.